Hey everybody, Ryan Nelson here, and today I'm going to share with you how I do my slow motion shots. But first, we need to get out to the mountain to do some really fun slow motion shots, so let's go. Whoa, that was pretty cool. Now let's shoot some slow motion footage. I think that's enough slow motion shots for now. Let's get back. Let's get back to the studio. Wow, ooh, that was a big one. But now we're back in the studio. Let's take a look at the footage we shot and see what we have. So first off, I do all of my projects in 24 frames per second, or 23.976 if you want to be specific. But when you're shooting slow motion, you don't shoot it in 24 frames per second. You may be shooting it in 60 frames per second, 120, 240, whatever your camera can do. So when you get that footage into Premiere, you want to interpolate that footage down into 24 frames per second. So if we look in our project bin, if you look at my B-roll, it's at 29.97 frames per second. I actually shot this in 120 frames per second, but the camera automatically converts that into 29.97 frames per second, but I still want to take that down even a little bit further. So I'm going to highlight all of those video clips, right click, go down to modify and interpret footage. Is it interpret or interpolate? I keep saying interpolate. Is that even a word? Anyway, so interpret footage. And this box is gonna pop up and you're gonna wanna check, assume this frame rate and type in 23.976 and hit OK. So this will actually stretch out and lengthen your clips even farther. And at this point, you can just drag your whole folder down onto your timeline. And this was shot in 720, so I'm gonna scale that up to 150. Hit that clip, check on motion. Command C to copy that, and then highlight the rest of my clips, Command V, and now they all fit the 1080 timeline that I'm working in. I do find that the 720 slow motion from the 5D Mark IV holds up really well, upscaling that to 1080. Your camera might work, it might not. And if it looks bad, scale everything down to 720 or whatever frame rate your slow motion is in. So now let's say you were out shooting and you accidentally shot something in slow motion that you want to play a regular speed. At this point, you can go back to your clip, right click and go up to speed duration, and then change that to 500%. And then this will take your clip, assuming you shot it at 120 frames per second, back up to normal speed. And if you're shooting at 60 frames per second, you would take that up to 250%. If you're shooting at 240 frames per second, you take it up to 1000%. And that will give you the real-time feel of that clip. And it does offer some more flexibility because you can go in and speed ramp that clip as well. So at this point, if you want to speed ramp your image to go from real time to slow motion back to real time, here's how you do that. Say we've got this clip right here, it's all in slow motion, but I want to see me bombing down this thing, and then I want to like get the tire hitting and the dust coming up. So I go over here, I right click, time remapping, speed. With me so far, this is pretty easy. So let's say I scroll down and I want to, right as soon as that front tire launches off there, that's where I want to go into slow motion. Command click on this line to drop a point, then go down to right when you want it to go back to fast motion right after the tire hits. Command click on that line again. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. Now with your selection tool, V on the keyboard, drag both of these lines up to 500% because we shot it at 120 frames per second. 500% is going to be real time. So I do that with the last bit of the clip too. So now if we watch this, fast motion, boom, poof. And it's a little harsh, so what you can do, zoom in a little bit and click on these little keyframes and drag them out just a little bit. So that'll speed ramp and give you a little bit of a buffer coming in and out of the slow motion action. If you want to take that one step further, zoom in on it and then click and drag these little, they're really hard to see at the moment, think, because I'm in such a slow motion, but you get these little arms that you can click and drag and kind of ramp it a little bit. So there we go. Let's zoom out, see that? I'm flying down. Woo! Boom, and I'm gone. All right, guys, well, that's a couple of ways I work with my slow motion footage. If you have any questions, put that down in the comments. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.
Really good sound, yes. Yes, really good sound is the way we go at this.
Yes.